Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now let's begin. This is something that happened on the 4th of December 2025. During a late night journey through a long and empty highway on the way to a remote desert region. We had planned a week-long trip, but everything started going wrong from the very beginning. Our flight was suddenly cancelled at the last moment. After hours of waiting and uncertainty, we finally managed to get another flight, but it landed very late at night. By the time we reached, it was already past midnight. At that point, we had two choices: stay there until morning or continue the journey immediately and avoid losing an entire day of our trip. We chose to continue. That decision changed everything that followed. We hired a taxi and began driving toward our destination. It was around 1 a.m. when we left. At first, the road felt normal, just another night drive. But slowly, that feeling changed. The further we went, the emptier everything became. No traffic, no movement, no sound except the engine that the wind brushing past the car. It felt like the world was slowly disappearing around us. Our driver seemed experienced, calm, quiet. He focused on the road without saying much. The passengers in the backseat slowly relaxed as the hour passed. Some of us even drifted into sleep. Around 5 in the morning, we reached a small roadside stop in a completely isolated stretch of highway. There were no nearby buildings except a small dhaba-like rest point. It was the kind of place you don't remember later, just a quick stop to rest before continuing. I stepped out of the car to stretch my legs. The air was freezing still. No insects, no movement in the trees. Only silence and the faint sound of wind passing through the empty road. And then I noticed something strange in the sky. The moon. It was one night before the full moon, but it didn't look normal. It had a deep copper red glow, almost like it was burning softly behind thin cloud. The entire highway was washed in that unnatural light. Everything looked slightly distorted, more empty than it should have been. I took out my phone and clicked a photo. The moon, the roadside trees, and a truck parked quietly across the road. That's when I noticed it. A man is standing beside the truck, on the opposite side of the highway, perfectly still, watching me. At first, I thought it was just a traveler or someone local, but something about him didn't feel right. He wasn't moving at all, no shifting weight, no gestures, just standing there, staring, as if he had been watching me for a long time. Then, I heard someone call my name from behind. I turned for just a second, and when I looked back, the man was gone, completely gone. No footsteps, no direction of movement, no trace at all. Just empty road under the red moonlight. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Tiredness, imagination, maybe just shadow. But something about it stayed in my mind. I casually asked the man at the stop if he had seen anyone near the truck. But instead of answering, he just stared at me, completely silent. No reaction, no expression. Then he slowly turned away as if he hadn't spoke at all. That moment felt heavier than it should have. We continued the journey. The road ahead became even more isolated. Long stretches of highway with no lights. No cars behind us, no headlights ahead. Only darkness and movement. Inside the taxi, exhaustion slowly took over. The passengers in the back eventually fell asleep. Only the driver remained awake, focused, silent. Then everything changed. A sudden violent sound of braking shattered the silence. The car jolted forward and screeched to a stop. We all woke instantly. If we hadn't been wearing seatbelts, we would have hit the front seats. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. Then, we looked at the driver. He was shaking. His hands were frozen on the steering wheel. Sweat covered his face despite the cold night air. He looked terrified, genuinely terrified. We asked him what happened. At first, he couldn't speak properly. His breathing was heavy. Then he finally explained. He said that while driving, he saw someone walking ahead on the road. A lone figure in the middle of nowhere, at that hour, in that place. It made no sense, but he kept driving. The car slowly approached the figure, closer, closer, until it was just in front of the vehicle. And then, the figure suddenly moved. Not like a normal person, not running, not stepping aside. It lunged straight toward the car. An instant, the figure was on the bonnet, staring directly into the windshield, face pressed close to the glass, eyes locked onto the driver. The driver panicked and slammed the brakes. The car came to a sudden stop, and then silence. There was nothing there, nobody, no impact, no sign that anyone had been standing in front of the car at all. Just empty road and wind. We immediately got out. We checked everything. The entire road was completely empty. No marks, no movement, nothing was there. The driver was in shock. He couldn't barely stand. We gave him water and tried to calm him down. After some time, we decided it was safer for me to take over the driving. So he moved to the back seat, and we continued the journey. The rest of the drive passed in silence. No more sightings, no more strange events. Just a long empty road slowly leading toward morning. At around 8 a.m., we finally reached our destination safely, but none of us spoke much after that. Something about the night felt wrong, even though nothing could be proven. The next afternoon, while we were having lunch, the driver seemed completely normal again, calm, collected, as if nothing had happened last night. But I still needed answers. So I asked him what exactly he saw. And he described the figure again, the same man, same presence, same unnatural stillness. And then came the part that still doesn't make sense to this day. because I had seen that same man earlier, standing beside the truck at the roadside stop. And I never told the driver, not once. So how did we both see the same figure? How did we both describe him in the exact same way? Neither of us had an answer. We may never know what truly happened on that road. But one thing is certain, some roads don't just take you from one place to another. Sometimes they take you somewhere else entirely. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe, and I will see you again.